Morning. It's about 5:52 a.m. I'm sitting at a bus stop just to be outside because it's so beautiful and cool. Finally. We've had several 97-degree days around here. I'm not going to say where here is. And it was hotter than hell. And I've just made a move into a new place. And it has this enormous ceiling fan, big ass ceiling fan, that is good at moving the air around. I could pay a bit more and get an air conditioner in there, but that's a problem at this moment. Plus, I've got things stacked near the window that would make access difficult. So I'm just going to tough it out. But it's so beautiful and so comfortable, I decided let's go for a walk, have a sit, make a video, whatever. I've really been watching content on YouTube while I'm at this bench for a little while. And I have one video that is already posted. I have a second that is going to go. They're on totally different topics. And I've been looking at a lot of videos which says, do it this way, do it that way, do it just so. And the one that I posted maybe 3 days ago was an impulse, and it was a rant, and I labeled it as a rant. And much to my surprise, it's gotten a few views and a few shares. So, I don't know. I'm without any script, and when I started this one, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to discuss in it, other than advice that I've been watching, and the advice that seems to feel the best to me. I'm watching this woman whose channel I instantly subscribed to when I saw. I'm about a third of the way through her, a little more than a third of the way through a 30-minute video of hers. And it's so real, it's perfect in that it is unscripted. This is what she's discussing, one of the topics she touches on. And she said, she got laughing at this point, and this is when I stopped to make this be ugly. She said that she had gained some weight of late, and that she had a little bit of a double chin, and it made it more difficult to set things up for her filming to be perfect. And finally she said, oh, the heck with it, just be ugly, be what you are, and just talk. The public will forgive those imperfections. And maybe that will be endearing to them. I don't know. But I do know that she was totally right in that if you have only one or two videos, you have a very small library. But she made the analogy of your YouTube channel being a library. Are you going to go downtown to the main library if you go in? There's only one book on the shelf. Not very likely, no. But when you have amassed a bunch of videos, several books on the shelf, there's at least more than one thing to look at when you've gone into that shelf, to that library. So that makes perfect sense. Now, there is a channel I've been following extensively. This man started out as a pharmacist. I totally believe that he's right. And yet something feels off about his prescription. His name is Shane Hummus, Hummus, like the food, the Middle Eastern food, which many people will say is an Israeli food. No, it's a Middle Eastern food, Arabic, I know. Let's leave it at that. In any case, that could have been another rant, a political rant on my part if I had let it been, but let's not do that. So, Shane, as I said, was a pharmacist some years ago, and I don't recall what he said his trajectory to becoming a YouTuber was, but he's very successful. His main channel has netted him roughly $10 million, $6 million a year. He's helped his brother, who was a tradesman. He does electric, drywall, what have you. not very scintillating stuff, he told his brother, if you do what I tell you to do, don't do what I tell you not to do, you can easily replicate my success. So the brother listened, and he was absolutely right. So Shane found this channel. I forget what it's called, but it was about ancient extinct animals, dinosaurs, or whatever else you want to discuss. It was an AI generated channel, and the key seems to be extremely high number of views and very low subscribers. That's those are videos that perform and are quickly monetized. Monetization, he keeps stressing, is far from the only route to making money on YouTube, but it is important. So this is an AI generated channel. He's very big on Claude Code and Claude the AI in general, and I understand why. I mean, he and other YouTubers, completely different topics, have shown what it can do, and what Claude can do is just stupefying. Now, I object in general to the term AI, since none of these are intelligent in the way we are. I mean, are we as a species intelligent? Undoubtedly, but flawed, okay? But machines are following programming made by us. We're imperfect, and they are definitely imperfect. And it turns out that what many AIs will do when they become stuck, the hallucinations, are in fact intentional. Uh, Apparently, the system needs them at a certain point to continue functioning at all. And you can ask many of the AIs to check their work, and sometimes you'll get an accurate result, more accurate result, because you have done it, and sometimes you won't. But I digress. So Shane said, "Wow, this is interesting. This channel is making around $48,000 a month. I want to determine if I can use Claude Code and YouTube to replicate the success." And he easily did so within a few hours. Um, I intend to try what he's going to do, but as you see, there are other approaches as well. And this one feels good, comfortable, right. Don't edit. Don't wait till you look perfect, feel perfect, have perfect lighting. I mean, I'm sitting here doing this on a standard 11th generation iPad sitting in my lap at a bus stop. And I'm hoping people are going to concentrate on what I eventually wind up saying and not on how I look, but doesn't matter. So his his take on the success of these channels is that a human being actually narrates the the videos. The AI generates a script, yes, a script, but after an extensive interview, prompting from the AI of you to try to get an idea of how you would speak in your own natural voice, and this tends to produce a script that does sound like something you would simply say rather than following a script, and that was impressive. And he feels it's the key. So he easily replicated this success. I would say within, he said a few minutes. Let's say a couple of hours, a few hours. Either way is fine. But I've watched many videos which are total AI slop, not even a human being narrated, and they irritate the hell out of me because the AIs always get words wrong. They pronounce them wrong, whether it's proper names or they're just not people. They're not intelligent. They cannot think, and that's why Shane's approach had a great impact on me. But still, something doesn't sit well. That's it's a specific series of things that you have to sit there and do, and it's not at all spontaneous. This is spontaneous. So far, I'm going for just under 10 minutes, surprisingly. I mean, I haven't had a problem as far as knowing what to say next. And I have another 10 minutes of content here. So, and I'm not one to be giving advice to anybody other than don't give up right before you hit. This is something that this new YouTuber who inspired this video indicated. She said, you don't know if it's going to be the second video, the 100th video. It took her a year and a half to be monetized. And can it be much faster? Absolutely, it can be. But you shouldn't count on that if you're trying to monetize. And she indicated her YouTube ad revenue at about $1,000 a month. And this is a big eye opener. She also indicated that the bigger money is coming from product placements and endorsements and companies that want you to feature their products as a 15 or a 30-second ad during your video, which is another reason for encouraging a slightly longer form video. Now, I'm of the belief that videos between 10 and 20 minutes are very watchable videos. I mean, I'd say that a lot of the videos on my playlist that I set up to watch are between 10 and 20 minutes. So I'm there on this one. And it feels natural. It's enough time to get quite a lot said, but not so much time that the viewer feels they have an enormous commitment. She said that this is roughly 10% of her income. So that means 80 or 90% is these product placements. So that's pretty good money. That's about $10,000 a month if I'm able to count well enough. 90 plus 10 is 100. So 9 plus 10, 9. You get my point. So she's making $1,000 a month on AdSense and another $9,000 from YouTube, 10,000 from the product placement videos. That's pretty good revenue, I'd say. That paces $120,000 a year. And she and her husband were both working full time, and this income has enabled him to go part time. And she has a little brother, and it was the little brother that told her, "Here, look how easy this can be if you're consistent." And he showed her some tips that helped his, I don't know if it was TikTok or YouTube channel blow up. And she followed, he took them to heart, and she's doing well enough, I suppose. So there's no way to predict what you are going to do on YouTube or other social media unless you actually try it. And what I've already learned is I've had many false starts. I have some pretty good footage in the can from nearly 2 years ago now, it being nearly August, about 22 months ago, that I planned for a very different video, very produced, on another topic, photography, that I again shot one on that topic on May 4th of this year, 2026. And I was going to produce it and use it, and I showed it around to several friends. And they said, "Oh, it's wonderful, use it, use it, use it." I said, "I'll make some small edits." And they said, sure. Until I showed it to one more person. He said, "No, dump it. You must reshoot." And I said, "Why? That's interesting. Everybody else likes it." He said, "You're boring them. You put them to sleep in the first 5 seconds." And he was entirely right. I started about, "Well, hello. Thanks for watching my brand new blah, blah, blah." Now, during this video, I showed a number of cameras in the video, and one near the end is a camera that, oh God, I love this thing. It's a film camera. It's an instant camera, and it's, I believe it's more than 50 years old. It was 1972 when it debuted, and this thing is sexy, sexy. Whip this out of a back pocket at a party and unfold it, and now you get some attention. But it's the beauty of its design and its function. It was the Polaroid SX70 Alpha 1, if I believe was the model number, and this came out in 1972. And my father insisted that we march right down to Olden Camera, which was then in New York City, and buy it on the day of its introduction. Technological miracle. I still am awed by the look of these photos, and for many years the film became unavailable because Polaroid Corporation, as Polaroid, went away due to changing taste, digital photography, inkjet printers, so many reasons. But Polaroid is now back as Polaroid, and there is film available for this camera. But at the time, the power was provided by a battery in the pack. And I don't believe that film is now available. So these cameras are just heavily modified. There are many of them on the market, and they're becoming valuable. This was a camera I sold for $200-300 in 1972, and now they're 12, 13, 1400 when modified to accept external power so that you can use film in these cameras. And some have had reworked lens systems. I mean, it's an entire industry, an entire ecosystem around these just wonderful, clever Polaroid cameras. And if you know anything technical, this was a folding single lens reflex instant film camera. Single lens reflex meaning the lens is the viewfinder itself. Through this camera, through a series of mirrors, I think only mirrors and optics, you're seeing through the lens, and there is a mirror in a light path, okay, that is up, and the light is coming into the lens, bouncing off this mirror and out through a viewfinder. But when the time to expose the film comes, it's got a pretty complicated, clever system in the camera. Every camera of this type has it, which is going to flip that mirror out of the way physically, and the film is exposed. And in this case, after the film is exposed, the camera ejects it, and it develops in front of you. That part of getting it to develop in front of you in full light, and yet having ended the exposure, having an invisible chemical barrier over the front of that print to stop further exposure and to allow the miracle processing to go on in this small picture you're now holding in your hand in front of you. And I remember when I was a young man and I first went into a darkroom, the magic of exposing a print under the enlarger and slipping it into developer and seeing that image first come up in that chemistry in the red light of the darkroom was such an astonishing thing. And yet to have that same process happen in full color, in full sunlight, in front of you, within seconds, and within 5 or 10 minutes have just a fully developed print with this beautiful qualities. It had this lushness, this pearlescence is the only way I can describe it. I made up a word to describe the appearance of these photos. They're so beautiful, and I have many photos that I shot with this camera of my brother, who's now much older, and he's ill, has lung cancer and Alzheimer's, and he no longer remembers that I exist, or his sister. So I'm going to see him in California quite soon, and I'm going to bring as many of these wonderful photos that I have that I can find, but I want to travel light. So I'm going to photograph them and take them on my iPad or my phone and let him see them that way, and just hope that they jog a memory. So this video I hadn't intended to be about photography. I had no intentions at all when I started it. No idea what it was going to be about, but we got there. And I'm talking about family, memory, photography. Take pictures. Take pictures.